Mr. Joe, first and foremost, it will be catastrophic for the government to even attempt or even think to attempt locking down the country. It will be very catastrophic in terms of economy, security-wise, and even health-wise itself. It will be catastrophic. Good enough, the Minister of Information is coming out to say that the federal government is not likely going to lock down state, but now giving open ticket to, the COVID-19 committee is now giving open ticket to these governors.
But as some will say, without health, what else?
Without health, there will be no wealth. Without health, the security would almost be not useful itself. But I can also tell you that some people would prefer to have a mild fever, cough and catarrh than to be locked down completely and not having what to eat. Because, even if you have the health and you don't have what to eat, is that one not sickness itself? That is also...
so how do we manage both problems?
Well,
the multiple problems?
Actually, that's the right word to use, multiple problems. I think the best way to manage these multiple problems is first, government will have to be proactive, very, very proactive, in the sense that Nigeria is a very rich country. No matter how you look at it, whoever says whatever he wants to say, Nigeria is a rich country. God has endowed us with a lot of things that if we have been having good managers, Nigeria would have been better than a lot of countries across the world today. But because of management problem, that is why we are where we are. So the best way to tackle this, first, government need to be proactive, make the necessary things available for Nigerians. First, improve the policies and programs of government in terms of, first, the palliative itself. Secondly, the federal government intervention in various ways. Just yesterday, there was a flag off of this 20,000 naira for 3 months for 1,000 youths per local government and things like that. Even though I'm of the opinion that that money is damn too small for the government to even boost that, it is giving out something to Nigerians, because... and
there are other experts that are of the opinion government should start investing this money and creating employment for these youth,
exactly,
instead of giving them such monies that may not actually take them anywhere.
It will not even talking of taking them anywhere, depending on where your area of assignment will be. Possibly the transportation alone will take off that 20,000 naira before the end of the month that you are supposed to be given, and that is just for 3 months. So why do you have to do? It's more like giving me something with the right hand and taking it back with the left hand. So it's more like committing people to do something without nothing, because transportation, what they will eat while they were where they are supposed to do the whatever assignment that they are supposed to carry out, is more than enough to take off that 20,000 naira. So at the end of the day, they might even end up with debt. So that money is not enough. Like I earlier mentioned, I have always had the opinion that it is too small. At least if you truly want to assist, for them to have a take-off grant, kind of, you could have made it 50,000 naira a month. For 3 months, that would make 150,000, and that would be enough for at least a petty trader to start something. And if well harnessed, it can be a way of growing up the economy itself. That is number one. Number two, I also share the opinion that instead of giving that money, the federal government should invest the money somewhere that will provide employment opportunity for the youth. That is a second aspect. The third aspect is, it is the same NDE that is distributing this money. It's the same NDE that has the facility or the responsibility of technically empowering Nigerian youths on handwork and what have you. So why not empower those youth by teaching them some skills, and at the end of the 3 months, teach them skills for 3 months. At the end of the 3 months, as they are graduating, you make the equipment available for them, and there's some little grant, take-off grant for whatever skills they learn, and let them go also be an employees of labor. I think it would have been better that way than distributing 20,000 naira. I heard the minister making lamentations as he thinks is the best policy. There's no government that has ever brought this policy. A policy of distributing 20,000 naira to youth at the end of the month for 3 months, and then the 20,000 naira is not enough even for transportation and what they will feed. Are you supposed to be, singing songs of praise on that one? I think they need to look inward again and redesign that policy. Instead of giving out that money, provide skills acquisition, and then at the end of the skills period, like I said, give equipment and then a take-off grant. I can tell you that will be more beneficial to the youth than giving 20,000 naira for them to go and sweep streets or park waste, go to dustbins and be packing the waste or things like that. I don't think that is really something that Nigerian youth deserve.
Okay, it's a new year, and a new year allows for changes and improvement. Also, during that briefing, the federal government, of course, assured and reassured Nigerians that the country will witness improved security this year. Also going further to explain that a number of platforms the country had been expecting to beef up the battle against terrorists and bandits will arrive in this new year. The fight against or the fight insecurity challenges or addressing insecurity challenges is a new year with assurances. Do you actually see, of course, improvement?
No, I see a carryover of the problems we had in 2020 into 2021. That is what I see. I do not really see. You see, it's all about strategy. It is all about plans. It is all about programs and projects. Security must be holistic. Issue of security is something that cannot be taken like a dastral. Yes, the government said they are doing everything possible. The government told Nigerians that they've given enough money, and for everything that the security agencies ask for, that the government has given. But the result is truly not really nothing to take home, right home about. But so talking about security and waiting for equipment and what have you, this same waiting for equipment has been on since 2019. We were told in 2020 all the equipment will be available, and by mid of 2020 we would have had everything, and then the insurgency, the banditry, the kidnappings would have been swept out. But up to the end of 2020 we were still waiting. Now
the minister is saying there to arrive, and I think just yesterday a confirmation from the US government that the Super Tucano will be delivered to Nigeria.
We hope. Yes, I saw it on network news where the American Secretary of State in charge of American Air Force came to visit the Chief of Air Staff and then had such discussions. Yes, I saw it. It is even everywhere on social media. I hope and pray that the delivery will be as fast as it can be, because it's one thing to come and say it will soon be delivered. It is another thing to deliver it on time as it's supposed to be delivered. Like we have been discussing, I just mentioned it now. These things are supposed to be delivered since in 2020. It was not delivered, and now we have been. Yes, the visit is a good one. At least it's encouraging. It is saying that possibly we're expecting it anytime soon. But
do you see the arrival or receiving these platforms solving these issues?
No.
Is this actually the problem, or issues of strategy, or some other issues in this cycle? Do you think it's the platforms, absence of the platforms that have would I say limited the successes?
I don't think so. I absolutely do not think so, because those platforms that they are talking about will not operate themselves. Even if the platforms are here, they will be operated by Nigerians. The same Nigerians that are fighting insurgency, the same Nigerians that are fighting banditry, the same Nigerians that are fighting kidnappings will be the same Nigerians that will operate those platforms. So the absence of the platforms are not actually the essence, the reason why we've not won the fight against insecurity. Also, the presence of the platform will not also be the reason why we are going to win the fight against insecurity. It is all about strategy. It is all about plans. It all depends on the kind of strategy adopted, plans that are being designed to achieve result in terms of fight against insecurity. The platforms are just tools that can be used. I repeat, those tools will only be used and manned by Nigerians. The same Nigerian security agencies that have been on the ground fighting insecurity, and up to now there's no really that much expected result out of the fight against insecurity. So yes, they will assist. The availability of the platforms will assist in certain level in carbon security, but not winning the war completely. What I'm trying to say clearly in clear words is that those items are not really the things that will stop insecurity. Strategy is what will stop insecurity. You need to strategize, you need to plan and replan, you need to redo your programs and projects, you need to think out of the box, you need to involve people in the issue of security. It is not just about the security agencies themselves alone. You need to involve a lot of people. Whoever you think has solution, whoever suggested something that is going to be a way out, you need to bring that person on board, seek for his opinion, listen to that person, ask him to give you the strategy. It is supposed to be holistic. All hands are supposed to be on deck. Everybody is supposed to be involved in the issue of security if we must succeed and win the security challenges we are having today. But for as long as some group of people feel if it is not them, nobody can do it, then we'll continue to find ourselves in the same situation and problem that we are having. It might not change unless and until there is strategy. I repeat, there is plan and replanning and involvement of all stakeholders. There must also be synergy between all security agencies, because right now part of the challenges we are having is lack of synergy between the security agencies. One is trying to undo the other is trying to outshine this very one, and like that everybody is trying to make himself look like a hero, either as individual or as an organization. The head of every organization wants his organization to be seen to be doing the best or better than others, and that competition is what is really bringing the security challenges even to bear again. You know, there's supposed to be synergy, there's supposed to be working synergy, understanding, there's supposed to be this patriotism and loyalty to the nation, not to the president but to the nation, because the challenge now is everybody is trying to impress the president by trying to do one thing or the other, but the president is not Nigeria. The president is just one Nigerian out of 200 million Nigerians. So, and then after him there's going to be another president. After that one there will be another one. For as long as Nigeria exists, we'll continue to have president after president after president. But the country still remains as a country, and our troops, the fighting troops, will remain as fighting troops. So the loyalty of the fighting troops should not only be to the president. Yes, they must be loyal to the commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, but also they should be loyal to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and be loyal to Nigeria and Nigerians, because they are being paid with taxpayers' money, so they have to justify that those monies that they are receiving on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, either as appropriation or as their salary or allowances or money for equipment or training or whatever you can think of. So the commitment must be to the country, the commitment must be to the Constitution, the commitment must be to the people before the commitment to even the president.
Another issue that came up, of course not new, but a lingering issue, is the issue of course, government says it takes exception to those describing or calling Nigeria as a failed state. Looking at the situations, the state, would it be right or fair to describe Nigeria as a failing state?
Well, there are two statements there, Mr. Joe. A failed state and a failing state, they are two different things. If you look at the phrase, if they call it a failed state, I will disagree with them that Nigeria is a failed state. But if they say it is a failing state, I can to an extent want to align myself with them, because failing in the sense that we have security challenges in over 22 states out of the 36th state of Nigeria today. And a failing state is a state where the security challenges keep on up. Resurfacing in different dimensions, in different ways, and then there has been solution has not been found to such problems, and also where the government is not doing anything about the security challenges that in an attempt to curb it or to solve the problem. Such state could be described as a failing state. But if you call
political
it a failed state,
believe it will not be right to describe Nigeria even as a failing state, because there's still a government in place, an elected government.
That is
not like countries like Somalia.
That is
no private security or soldiers and all that.
That is why.
So, looking at the challenges, is this only peculiar to Nigeria or more of a global challenge?
That is why I am saying that there are two statements there: a failed state and a failing state. A failed state is completely, like you talk about Somalia and the rest, those are failed state based on the security challenges they had, and the government couldn't control the situation at all. That was what made it a failed state, you understand? But a failing state is a phrase that can be used to describe a state where issues of security and the economy is not coordinated and is getting deteriorated on a daily basis, and nobody is doing anything about it. In terms of Nigeria, whether we like it or not, yes, we have a government at the center. We also have government at the state levels, and the government at the center is doing the needful in terms of curbing the security challenges that we are having in the country. Already, we just finished talking about American Minister of State Air Force came in, Secretary of State Air Force came in to discuss with the Chief of Air Staff, and then the issue of delivery of the Super Tucano and other facilities that will be required to assist in fighting insurgency, banditry, and kidnapping. So, a failing state cannot be able to do things like this. So, you cannot completely. That's why I say I could align myself with if you describe it as such, not a failed state. But even at that, already there is a government, and the